We are live in Facebook land, live on YouTube. This is the behind the scenes shooting the episode for Colorado Barbecue. Colorado Barbecue. Colorado Bulldog Barbecue. I butchered it before and I figured I butchered it one more time. Guys, thanks for tuning in and watching. You guys can stream your questions in, and as they come in, we will send them to the screen and answer them best we can if we've got time. Can you hear me, Levi? Levi, can you
Yep,
hear
I'm
me?
here. Yep.
Okay, you're on a little delay there. We're going to get started with the intro, and we'll get right into it. What's up, guys? Wes, the People's Pitmaster, back again for another episode of the Smoke Ring Syndicate. It's my weekly barbecue podcast that drops every Wednesday at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, we're headed west to Colorado. I've got Levi Stokes in the building of Colorado Bulldog Barbecue. Levi, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So Levi Stokes of the Colorado Bulldog Barbecue. It's you and your wife that compete, correct?
Correct.
Cool, good deal. So typically, what I do with my new guests is I want to know who Levi Stokes is. So, and tell me what you did before barbecue, and we'll run through it.
So we're based out of Colorado. It's me and my wife Jessica. We this year did 46 contests across the country, roughly 70,000 miles for barbecue. And still, I'm in the transportation industry, um, logistics, and still do that and try to barbecue as well.
Okay. So, did you grow up? Um, did you grow up with barbecue, or where did you get your first taste of barbecue that eventually turned into blossomed into competing?
No, I did not. Not at all. Not even remotely close. Back in 2013, roughly, my wife bought me a Traeger for my birthday, I think it was, and started messing around and playing with it. And like a lot of guys, you see the pitmaster shows and stuff online and the Facebook groups, and kind of in 2015, had the opportunity to go do a contest and kind of always wanted to do one. So we
Yeah.
went up to Miles City, Montana, and did our first contest and did really well up there, and kind of been hooked ever since.
Okay. What sanctioning body do you cook with out there?
KCBS,
Say again.
KCBS.
Oh, it is KCBS then.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you're a KCBS guy and competed the first time in Montana, and you just fell in love and got hooked, huh?
Yeah, yeah. We went 5 for 5 on calls on our first contest, and it was kind of game
That'll
over
do it.
after that.
That'll do it. That'll give you a feeling of, man, maybe I do know what I'm doing.
Well, then we turned around 2 weeks later and did it again in Colorado. So it was back to back success in two comps, beginner's luck, what I call it.
Yeah,
But it definitely started the passion and started the ball rolling.
yeah. So just a second, and unfortunately, guys, you get the behind the scenes. This gets cut out of the regular stuff, but I can't hear a damn thing. Try that one more time. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Perfect. So competed and back to back did well, and that just cemented the love of barbecue for you. And we just got on the passion project and started competing. And walk me through this year with Colorado barbecue or Colorado Bulldog barbecue. I don't know why I can't do this. Uh, Colorado Bulldog barbecue. It's right on my screen too. That's what's so terrible. You started with this team with just you and your wife. Um, you started early this year, and you guys are already where you guys stand this year.
So we started back in January. We went out to Bullhead City and did okay out there. Um, Following week, we drove home from Bullhead City back to Colorado. Following week, we ended up going to Omaha, Nebraska, and took ninth. It's first two out of the gate for the season, and got back from there. And there was a contest down in Florida, and I kind of was like, "You want to go to Florida?" And
Yeah.
we loaded up and drove to Florida, and did well there. Finished 12th out of like 60. And came back to Colorado that week. And the following week, there was a contest in California and then Yuma. And we went out to California, and I think we finished second or third, and then went to Yuma and finished third. So we had a pretty good jump for the season on points. And it's kind of like in a marathon. You can't start looking at the points at the beginning of the season, but I'd rather stay ahead of it than try to play catch up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just kind of went on a roll from there, and didn't take much time off and just kept going. And then that first contest in California was the start of the Jealous Devil points. So out of
Hmm.
the gate, we took the lead in Jealous Devil points, and that came more of a focus than KCBS points really, but they kind of went hand in hand through the year. So we just started hitting it after that, through the U.S. back and forth. It seemed like.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys kind of mimicked your transportation company, just haul a barbecue.
Pretty much. We did just shy of 70,000 miles in 46 contests.
Wow. How many states do you guys hit?
I'd have to count a lot of them. I didn't.
That's
I haven't even did that stats yet.
yeah. That's 70,000 miles. That is that's brutal on the trade-in value.
Yeah. It was fun when we went to California. We've got 5 kids, so we took one of our kids with us, and we went to Disneyland. We did the same thing when we went to Florida. We took our daughter with us and went to Disney World. So it was kind of throughout the year we mixed it as vacations versus
Yeah.
and barbecue. It was kind of a year of barbecue and vacation, I call it.
Yeah. Ain't no shame in that.
No,
You
no, it
can
was definitely needed. It was needed. Being self-employed,
yeah.
that was needed.
Yeah, I say if you can figure out a way to do that. So were you cooking with you were cooking with Jealous Devils before, or you just happened to be in a contest that they were cooking with and ran with it, or what's the backstory on that?
I was actually cooking with Jealous Devil before. I went through a lot of different charcoal trying to find what I liked, and I'd always liked Jealous Devil, and I liked that I could get it anywhere. So I was cooking with it when it started. So for me, it was not a. I know a few teams they switched over to it to chase the points, but I'd already been
Hmm.
using it prior to the contest starting.
Yeah. So it was something you were already using anyway, so it was no adjustment period for you. You just saw that there was a points race there and a pot of gold at the end of the season there, and said, "Let's go for it." Yeah,
Yep.
fantastic. So sponsorships, you've been in it in the game for a couple of years, but you've been in the game as Colorado Bulldog Barbecue for 1 year. Where do we stand with? Do you do sponsorships? Um, what is your setup for your week to week travels?
We do have sponsors. Our if you want to know what our sponsors are, I can definitely give you a rundown of that one. They'd probably appreciate that. Jealous Devils, obviously. Proud Souls Barbecue and Provisions. They've got 2 stores in Denver, Kansas City, and now one in Florida.
Hmm.
Man Meat Barbecue. We started with them at the beginning of the year, and it just awesome, awesome, awesome products from them. We also have Springer Mountain Farms chicken, which I don't know if you've ever cooked that, but it is the
Very
best chicken in
familiar.
the country. The best chicken in the
Very,
country.
very, very familiar.
Smoking Wizards barbecue sauce out of Texas.
Smoking
Hooray,
Wizards.
Hooray Grills. Um, and Smoking Magic Seasonings out of Kansas City.
Okay, so you guys have got a good bit of folks that are on board with y'all.
Yes, we do.
Um, the Smoking Wizards, I didn't, I haven't heard them in a couple of years. They had a sauce that came out that was amazing. And I had a friend of mine that makes sauce, and he's like, "Man, it's very similar to what I make." And I'm like, "It's not. There's something different." And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like vanilla and pineapple or something like that that was in the sauce that made it just a little different. And I ended up ordering a case of that stuff, I think in 2019 or 2020 when I first found out about them. And I think we ordered a case and split it amongst ourselves. And that was an awesome sauce, man. I'm gonna have to go and get some more of that.
His glazes are second to none.
Yeah,
I love the glazes he makes, and they're real. It's not just a bunch of corn syrup. There's actual, fruit and stuff in there that flavor really comes through.
yeah. Well, like I said, we were going through the ingredients, and I don't recall which sauce it was, but one of them was like vanilla. And I
Yeah,
was like, who puts vanilla in barbecue sauce? But holy crap, it works,
it does.
So we've competed and put 70,000 miles on our vehicle this year. And we're not planning to trade that, right?
No, no, it's got like 130 on it now.
Yeah.
It's not
And you
going
put three
anywhere.
quarters of that on this year.
Yep.
Well, I mentioned the trade in because I sell cars. I'm a finance manager at a store. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to be so mad when he hears the deduction for the trade in value on that.
Uh, right.
It's not going to be good. So we had a 2023 to remember. What are we thinking as far as 2024? Where do we go from 70,000 miles? You can't possibly put more miles on a truck next year.
I can't, and I'm not going to. I think next year I'm going to run probably about 30. I say that now. Depends if we get into a points chase. With that, I've kind of, we hit a wall, and I talked about this on another podcast. We hit a wall through the middle of the summer, and I think we could have fixed that if we would have just taken some time off. So, with KCBS, you need to win 10 to win Team of the Year. And, you cooked 46, we won four. But I really want to know how many of those were we just chasing our tail. If we would have took some time off and came back, we would have done better. And so I kind of just
Hmm.
want to see how taking some time off, not cooking every single weekend and trying to travel and everything else affects us. Either not cooking every weekend is going to affect us negatively, or it's going to affect us positively. And then we'll kind of adjust from there, uh, and know where we're, do we need to ramp it up and go for 45 this year, or is the philosophy of cooking 2 3 weekends in a row, then taking a weekend off and stuff, and kind of doing a reset and going back to your notes,
Hmm.
more successful than the continual grind.
Yeah. So how many contests did y'all do this year? You said 40?
46, 46.
46.
Yeah,
There's only 52 weeks in a year, right?
I I am, yes.
And we've got, I think, two or
Three.
three to go.
Luckily, we had like 4 weekends of doubles, so that was nice.
Okay, okay. I was going to say that's 46, 47. I'm like, not real good with math, but that's not a whole lot of weekends at the house.
I think
Uh,
we did 6 weekends of doubles throughout the year, is what it kind of came out
okay.
to.
I was going to say in a lot of cases, the guys that don't compete with their wives, they're going to go, I'm going to have a honey-do list that's going to be so long. But I guess with you bringing your wife with you, you don't have time for a honey-do list because you guys just happen to be doing some barbecue and some travel, right?
I thought barbecuing for 40 some weeks out of the year was going to be a lot of work. Coming home and getting caught back up on everything that didn't get done, house
Hmm.
wise, business wise, everything, is definitely more work than the barbecue was.
Yeah, I can imagine so, especially being well. I don't. I don't know that there's a job out there that you could work for somebody that you could devote 40 something, weekends, because there's still travel time Thursdays and Fridays, where you're not able to do it. So you almost, I don't say you have to, but you would almost have to be self-employed and in a position to where you can do that kind of time away, because there's not a like certainly not any jobs that I've ever had will let me have that kind of free time.
I think if you live in the Kansas City metro area, that you can pull that off where you're
Yeah.
able to go to contests Friday afternoon after you get off work, stuff like that. For
Hmm.
us, we had maybe 5 of them that were within a 5-hour drive of our house. Everything else was 10 hours plus. We
Yep.
spent the majority of July in Missouri. Um, June, we spent the majority of that month up in Montana and the Dakotas. So, without coming home every Sunday and turning around and going back to where we were going, which would have probably put 100,000 miles on my truck.
Hmm.
Um, we were able to do that. But with a normal 9 to 5 job, it'd be hard living in Colorado and pulling that off.
Yeah, certainly. Um, and it's you, your wife, and the face of the team, the Bulldogs, right?
Yeah, yeah. And our kids come with us too. In the summer, at least 3 of the kids, my 2 oldest usually stay home. They're 20 and 18. We've got a
Hmm.
15-year-old, an 8-year-old, and soon to be 6-year-old. So they were with us all summer, and traveled with us and everything else, and
Yeah,
had a lot of
that's
fun.
yeah. I was gonna say that's like they're gonna be like the coolest kids ever when they go back to school. What'd you do this summer? Well, I went to 16 different states and put 70,000 miles on a vehicle. Went to Disney World, went to Disneyland. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And the
So,
nice part was is in between comps, wherever we were, we went and did stuff. We did Mount Rushmore, went to parks, went and did stuff with the kids. So it was kind of like a vacation, um,
oh,
every
100%.
week in between comps. So it was really nice. It was needed.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so we're not doing that this coming year though. We're gonna dial it back to 30. Um, are you gonna stick with your same? And you don't feel free not to answer because this is kind of like a little competition secret. Are you gonna stick with your notes, or do you develop new stuff on your downtime? Um, what's your normal method to your madness? Because
You
I mean,
know
it seems
the
to have worked.
the last contest we won down in Biloxi, which sealed up the Jealous Devils deal. I'm gonna run it. It works. I
Hmm.
ran stuff this summer that was all the way back from contests we did in 2015. Um, so I'm not changing anything. I'm going to run the exact same program. Even when our program didn't hit all the time this summer, I still ran it and
Hmm.
tried not to make a bunch of adjustments, because then I feel you start chasing your tail,
Yeah,
all around, and you'll never get back to that square. You have to do a complete reset to get back to where you started.
yeah. So no big changes in mind, which most of the time when you're competing on a level like that, you're not, you're changing one thing. It's not like, oh, let's do a different sauce, a different rub, a different this, because you don't know what's going to, work necessarily.
Yeah.
So walk me through the Jealous Devil. Are they, with the Jealous Devil win, did they make you get a tattoo, or
No.
um, what, what is the, I guess, what was the allure for you to chase that so hard?
$50,000. The prize purse
That's
was
fair.
the initial chase, and then we got ahead of it, like I said, right out of the gate, and took the lead. And my wife also took the lead in the ancillaries for desserts and stuff like that. So we had 2 competitions going on that side, and we had some people come close towards the end,
Hmm.
but we never lost our lead in either one. And so it was kind of one of those, you've got that money, you've spent money, but you've got that money in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a lot more challenging. You only get points for third, second, first. So you've got
Hmm.
to be in that top three in all your categories and stuff. But the folks over at Jealous Devil, the amount of support through the chase and everything else, they're just great folks, and they stand behind their pit masters, and it was fun.
Yeah. So when you say the $50,000 purse, is that for either or do you get points in the same chase, or is it two separate chases and there was 100,000 at stake?
No, so they put out 50,000 altogether. So it
Okay.
was 30, I think it was 35,000 to us for winning it, and then second place got 7,000, third got I think three, and then the dessert ancillary was another 2,000, and then they gave some money away online, kind of like a people's choice deal that they submitted through Instagram, I think it was, in videos and stuff like that. People would vote, and they were giving like $500 a month away for that.
Hmm. So the future of Colorado Bulldog Barbecue, do you ever think about making that a full-time thing? Like, going, you know what, we don't like this whole transportation thing. Let's, turn it into a food truck or turn it into um, some sort of full-time gig. Like if you wanted to cater or something like that. Have you ever thought about doing anything like that, or is that it's just a hobby?
I owned a food truck back in 2016 for about 6 months, and I'll never own one again.
That's
Um,
fair.
I have I have no desire to have a restaurant or be in the food industry like that. I do not. I see it being our barbecue team, more influencer stuff,
Kind of a
online
hobby.
stuff, hobby.
Yeah.
Like I said, online influencer stuff like that. Teach some
Yeah.
classes. We've got a class coming up in January,
Yeah. So
so
that was, look at
so
you
doing
picking
that.
up on the cues. That's where we were going. So you got the class coming up, and this is your first class you've
This is.
organized. Okay.
Yep.
Have you co-hosted any classes? Have you gone to classes,
I've
or is
gone to
this like,
classes. I've taken
okay,
Travis Clark's class. Was the only class I've ever taken. And
that's a
I've
good
been
one.
around some of the backyard classes and taught stuff like that. But this will be our first KCBS class for us. So we'll see how it goes. It should go pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think between the Jealous Devil and the competition class. I think that's where I ended up stumbling upon you because we don't have mutual friends. I
Yeah.
don't. I got a couple of people in Colorado, but they're not into the barbecue game. Um, so I think that's where I ended up picking up your name and started looking into you and going, you know what, this guy might be cool to chat with, and just randomly message a guy in Colorado from Atlanta, and he's like, yeah, yeah, let's do it.
Why not? Nothing better to do
So
on a in the morning.
there you go. So your class, is it a 1 day class, a 2 day
It's a
class?
two. It's
And
going to be January 19th and 20th. We're going to go from 4 to 8 on Friday, and then 5 to 2, or till we're done, when all the questions are answered and everybody's happy, on
okay,
Saturday.
now are you hosting that anywhere in particular, or what's your? Because you've got 2 days. I mean, do you put it somewhere that's you can get shelter, or you guys camping out, or
So it is actually going to be in our shop in Johnstown, about an hour north of Denver, DIA Airport. And then within about 3 miles of our shop, probably 20 hotels, entertainment, all sorts of stuff. So in northern
okay?
Colorado.
And that's in like snow country still, yeah,
Yeah, kind of. We don't. You can see the mountains. The view from the front of our shop is second to none, with the mountains and the
yeah,
snow and everything. So
yeah. Well, I say I'm in Atlanta. I'm a Louisiana, Atlanta. We don't do snow. not
Yeah.
on the level that you guys do snow out there. So we went out to Estes Park. It's been a couple of years ago, and we went up into the park itself, and I was like, "Holy cow! That snow's like 4 feet tall, 5 feet. I've never seen snow like that in my entire life.
Yeah,
Like
we're
it
about
just not a concept that I've experienced before. So I was kind of like taken aback that you guys don't shut your entire state down because literally here we get 2 or 3 inches, we're done. We ain't doing nothing. Just call it a day, and put your stretchy pants on because we ain't doing nothing.
yeah, we're about 20 minutes from Estes Park.
Okay. So we've got the class, and it's you and your wife
Yep.
hosting the class, and you guys are doing just the KCBS meets, or are there any kind of ancillaries added to it?
We're just doing the KCBS meets, and then also, I don't know, a lot of people, some people know and some don't. Most of my meat this year was trimmed by Kevin from Monarch Barbecue. Kevin is just, he's got a skill set with a knife. And with us traveling, trying to run a business and everything else, there was just some stuff I didn't have time to do every week. And so we'd order in cases and cases and cases of ribs. He'd go through, sort them, and trim them. And Kevin's
Hmm.
actually going to come cover some of the meat trimming. Luckily for me, Kevin handles pork and ribs. My wife does chicken, and I do brisket. And so I kind of get away and be nice of just trimming, just trimming brisket. And then I do get some backlash from guys that are, you're really pit master if you're not trimming your own meat. And when you go through and look, I think my wife trimmed 600 chicken thighs this year. Kevin trimmed well over 300 racks of ribs. You start looking at the amount of volume we cooked throughout the year,
Yeah,
and it's almost impossible for one person to do it and stay on top of everything else. So I think it was kind of nice to have that in my
yeah,
back pocket this year.
yeah. Well, and I was sitting there thinking, I was doing like um, the math on it. I was like, that's a lot of chicken thighs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of chicken thighs. I'm like, this guy, how in the world? 'Cause, I mean, you're probably. I mean, how many thighs do you think you cook a contest? Probably 12,
We
13.
cooked 12. We cooked 12 thighs. So and you got to go through 24 to 30 just to find that right mixture at
Hmm.
12. And that's not even
Yeah.
counting, she trimmed that much chicken, and then with one meats, we did a lot of one meat rib, one meat chicken contest, and auxiliary contest. I think she built just close to 400 boxes this year.
Woo, Lord, give her a raise.
Yeah, yeah, she definitely anchored the team through the year because I can't build a
Yeah.
box to save my life.
Say it ain't so. Um, well, and the uh, the greenery is not necessarily a mandatory thing with KCBS anymore, right?
It's not, but you're not winning without it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not, but it's not like, yeah, go ahead. It's kind of like your wife says, yeah, that's fine, sweetheart. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just go ahead and go do that.
Yeah, whatever. Just go ahead,
Probably
whatever.
shouldn't do. Yeah, probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's your cutest not do it.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we kind of come to the end here. We're going for another 30 contests next year. Anything big else coming up from the Colorado Bulldog Barbecue Camp? Holy cow.
Not really. I've got getting a new redesigned my Jambo this year because we bought a toy hauler. Um, I was double towing a lot with our stuff. So Rob at Smoking Hot Barbecue, SHB Customs is putting a cart together for us with our Jambo, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that next month. And I've got a lot of input how it was put together, but I think he's going to surprise me on some stuff. So we'll see how that turns
Hmm.
out, and kind of just see what this season brings.
Yeah, absolutely. So, uh, Facebook, you get to circle back with me. I wanted to chat about your traveling 70,000 miles. What's your travel setup? I mean, are you
Um,
pulling a camper, or are you pulling a comp trailer that y'all are sleeping in the floor? Are you in a motor home? Like, what was your setup this year to
so
compete out of?
so this year we kind of had two different setups. We had our fifth wheel. I pulled with my truck, and then I was pulling a J3 behind it. Um, for the majority of the year. And then I've also got a 24-foot H&H race trailer that I converted to a comp trailer that my Jambo goes inside. We'd go down to Florida, East Coast, certain places. We'd use that just because I couldn't double tow in those states. Or we went out to Mississippi twice and North Carolina towards the end of the season chasing points. And it was just easier and faster to pull that. Especially
Hmm.
when I go by myself, I'll take that. When we go with the family and my wife, then she likes a little more creature comforts than I do. I'm all okay
Yeah.
with throwing an air mattress on the floor of the trailer and camping out for the weekend. My wife, not so much. They call her the bougie
That's fair.
queen, and she's not going anywhere without a bed in the facilities of camper.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. So the competition trailer, and you've got the Jambo, so you're not cooking necessarily. The Jambo's not staying on the trailer. So you've got your tables and everything set up on the inside, or are you tearing down everything like tents and all that fun stuff?
My philosophy is the less stuff I have to put away, the better. So when I run that, all the tables are set up. I don't really have any tear down in that trailer. I just winch the Jambo in, tie it down, and go. Same with our when we were just running our fifth wheel. I put the Jambo next to it, throw the awning out that's attached to it, throw a camera on a tailgate or wherever it will sit, and a table. So I don't. I try to keep the setup and awnings and all that kind of stuff and tents and tables to the absolute bare minimum of what we need, along with what we take with us. It's amazing when you start out the year how much stuff you take versus
Hmm.
towards the middle and the end of the year when you've done 46 comps that I can tell you to a T of exactly how much, utensils or seasonings or what I need to do a comp and it fits in a tote. It's crazy how much you think you need versus what you really need as you keep going through the year.
Yeah. Well, and some of that you just pare down because you just don't want to carry it, or it's just 100% not necessary to have a four tong versus a three tong, um, you know, or three prong, like a pitchfork or like a little meat hook.
It's a little bit of both. It's stuff I wasn't using, and then also just setting up. It's middle of July and you're in Missouri and it's 110 degrees and a comp's over. I don't want to fold up four tables and put an easy up away and four Cambros away and coolers away and do a bunch of dishes. I want to be able to. We had it down to where we could do a brisket turn in and be put away, cleaned up, showered, and on the road by 2:15. So 45
Wow.
minutes, we could be ready to go in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's moving too.
Yeah,
We will table it, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Hopefully, this has been fun for you. If not, it's
definitely,
tough. It's already done.
definitely.
Uh, I can't believe you didn't grow up like in a barbecue. Like most of the folks I talk to, they grow up. They grew up around barbecue, which I guess a lot of my folks are like southeast. Like the South is more barbecue centric, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And you just started in 2014, 2015, and now here you are a couple years later, we're winning $50,000 contests.
I grew up in a small area in Nebraska where barbecue was pork in a crock pot and liquid smoke. So no, I did not
Oof.
grow up anywhere near anything barbecue related.
Yeah. Well, you've done a pretty good job of associating yourself with barbecue, um, in a short period of time too. So congrats on that, man.
Thank you.
Guys, Facebook, YouTube, all that fun, guys. I've enjoyed it. Y'all have watched the behind the scenes. This has been an absolute train wreck. That will be quite a fun bit of editing. We're going to close it out.
Awesome. Thanks, Wes.
Absolutely, man. Guys, if you've enjoyed this week's episode, we would appreciate a review, a like, a share, and as always, keep smoking.